morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone here in the room. Dear colleagues, coordinator, speakers online, and all the people online. Yeah, very welcome to this session. So this is another session. We will be spending 45 minutes all together, and dedicated topic to innovation procurement, and almost everything you need to know on innovation procurement. That's a big objective pretension. But, well, my name is Bertrand Wert. I'm very pleased to be the co-animator of this session. I do work for the European Innovation Council, for the team that is in charge of the business acceleration services. We are bringing to all our 6,000 and plus very innovative European SMEs. So basically my daily work is to not to give them the fresh money, neither to invest directly in these companies, neither to put them in contact with the investors, private investors, neither to put them in contact with large corporates, innovation and research departments, but I'm in charge of trying to support as much as we can our companies to work with procurers. Public procurers, people working for hospitals, schools, military, police, hospitals, you name them, but also private procurers, meaning these specific departments in the large corporates that are dealing precisely with procurement. So today again, I will try to come from what we are, the EIC Accelerator, our 6,000 companies, and try to understand how we could better support them to get in contact with these procurers. That's a bit of the challenge of today. In addition, we will try also to give some tips to our companies, but also to all companies following today's session online on how to get in contact, how to win bids, public or private. In this journey, I won't be alone indeed. I will have the pleasure actually to have also colleagues coming from all around Europe, the speakers. I will mention here, firstly, Valerie Grauer. Marlene is an expert based in Germany, and she's working since years on innovation procurement with public and private procurers. Marlene will tell us more about what she does for BME. Then we will have also Mauro Draoli, and Mauro is working for an important Italian administration organization in charge of innovation in the digital, AGID. And finally, we will have also Thomas Cottinet. Thomas is working for the French Ministry of Environment. He's in charge of the Ecolab, and the same. They are doing pretty much on innovation procurement, working particularly with SMEs. We will have also Javier Quiles from Sargas, the health administration for Galicia in Spain. And finally, I really have the great pleasure to co-chair this session with a person. His name is Samira Bousseta. She does work for DigiGrow, together with other colleagues in the room here. We'll mention Ivo Locatelli. And these colleagues, they are doing really an amazing job on innovation procurement, really. I highly recommend you to follow all the seminars they are regularly organizing on the top of all the financing that they are providing to the European public procurers. I'm stopping here. Samira, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Bertrand. And also, I thank the EIC for organizing this big event on innovation, and especially this workshop on innovation procurement. This shows that innovation procurement is becoming a more and more important topic, but also more and more strategic. I will give you just two figures for you to understand the potential impact of public procurement on the market. The share of public procurement is estimated as 14% of GDP. It is about 2.3 trillion euros per year of public spendings. So I would say that it's a big budget, not for innovation. So yeah, innovation procurement is strategic. It's a strategic tool to modernize public services and public administration, and to help them accelerating the transition to a more sustainable model. But it's also a key lever to accelerate the development of companies in Europe, companies as startups and SMEs. Why? Because today it is not possible for public buyers to innovate without connecting with the innovation ecosystems and work with innovative companies. Today, the Public Procurement Directive allows public buyers to better deal with innovation procurement. They can use, for example, the innovation partnership contract, which allow a public administration to co-develop with companies new solutions and develop for these companies new markets. But we think in DigiGrow, but also with Bertrand and the EIC, that we need to build more spaces for collaboration, to create real spaces for companies and public administration to work together, create opportunities for co-creation, for co-development between these two worlds, which never really talk to each other. This is why, with my colleagues, Ivo Locatelli and Anita, who is here, but other colleagues within our unit, we are developing different activities on how to better connect public buyers with innovation ecosystem. For example, we have developed an initiative called Big Buyers. The idea is really to bring together public buyers, to work on common needs, and then to connect, to create strong links with companies. We found also different PPI project, Public Procurement of Innovation project, but we have also an important project called InnoBroker, which aim to develop these brokerage activities and really bring together public buyers and innovators really to work together. As Bertrand said, we also organize webinars, and we recently published a new version of our guidance on innovation procurement, which really also is about connecting public buyers and innovative companies. And all these tools are also for companies, so they get also the culture of public procurement and also the way public buyers really work with on innovation procurement. But we also see that on the ground, in member states, lots of initiatives, projects are emerging, and they are really developing tools, spaces, platforms to accelerate the access to public procurement for startups and innovative SMEs. So today we'll have great examples of what these public entities in different member states are doing. And I really thank the speakers here and online for the good practices they will share with us, and also the tips. So I will first pass the floor to Javier, who just won the first Innovation Procurement Prize in the category of Innovation Procurement Strategy, which really congratulations for your work. You've been developing things almost 10 years now, procurement strategy dedicated to innovation solution in the health sector. So Javier, the floor is yours. Thank you.
We'll be watching the time, Javier, but please,
yes.
Por favor.
For sure.
Yes, I have short time to talk about this subject. Is really extensive, so I will try to. Shall I have the slides? Okay, well, first of all, just wanted to thank EIC for the prize, for the invitation to be here. It's quite a pleasure and really, well, honored to be here and excited about talking about this subject. Just wanted to mention make a brief introduction of who we are. We are an organization of regional size, so we provide healthcare services from a public structure to the almost whole population of the region of Galicia. So our figures are large. We run 14 hospitals, 500 primary care centers, and our human resources, our professionals, raise up to 36,000 people. 7,000 are practitioners, more or less. The budget we run in an annual basis is over 4,000 million euro. So it's more than 40% of the total regional budget. So we are really a great public procurer, because from this money, of course, is not only for procurement, but we run more or less 1,200 public procurements. And we deal with more than 1,900 suppliers of goods and services. So there is a lot of opportunities to make innovation around this. And of course, our region is also, I'd say, traditionally digital, because we have been more than 20 years putting in place IT systems. So innovation, digital transformation, and healthcare is a group of things that are close and connected. So our basis for IT developments is my field, sorry, I have to talk about this, is based on integrated systems. We have a full integration of electronic health record for the whole region. Also, e-prescription is in place. So we have a culture of building IT systems with companies, because they are also collaborating with companies. And also, in the recent times, using public procurement of innovation, we have put in place a regional telemonitoring system, and also a patient portal that allows all citizens of Galicia to access their electronic health record. So these two projects came from innovation procurement of innovation. Next slide, please. Okay, this is, well, the reason, because of the price. I think we have been running innovation procurements for 10 years, almost nowadays. And we started in 2012 with 2 large programs. We received also European funding for these programs. And with this money, we managed to launch 33 PPI tenders for a value of 35 million euros. Well, the point here is that 82% of the awarded companies were SMEs or a consortium where SMEs were present. And also, there is also a key part here for me, is the market consultation. Is this part of interacting between the public procurer and the companies? Because in the traditional procurement, distance must be kept. So you cannot talk directly to any vendor with a specific purpose. You have to be neutral. But in innovation, you can open these doors and connect and interact and exchange ideas. So there was a second program in 2016. It was smaller, but we also launched 16 PPI tenders using the new regulation, using innovation partnership, using negotiated procedures, sorry. So different models that appear in the new regulation that are also making easier this path. So this more or less is our experience. So we have more or less 50, so it's 49 projects on PPI at this moment. Next slide, please. I just wanted to mention 2 examples of these 49 projects. Of course, we could talk a lot about examples, but this one was made by a Galician SME, collaborating also with a multinational. It's Everest that made the consulting and project management. But the development of the software was made by an SME. And we built an expert system for surgery. And the good thing here is that not only this tool was put in place in the Galician healthcare service, but also they took it to different regions, and the SME was successful in the market and put it in different clients. So that's what I wanted to mention here. And in the next slide, I can show also a very important project for us that shows how the public services can be improved by innovation procurement. We launched a tender to build a telemonitoring system, which was the requirements were to build a multi-patient, multi-professional, multi-pathology telemonitoring system for chronic patients. It was built by a consortia where 2 SMEs were present. The other 3 companies were large companies, but I think this mixture is very powerful. And also, we have nowadays fully scaled up to all the primary care centers, to all hospitals in Galicia. So it was a very useful tool for COVID situation. And we were ready for this because of launching 3 years ago a public procurement of innovation. So next slide, please. Just to summarize, I have not too much time. Just some key points that I think may be remarkable for SMEs is just to be aware of all the calls for market consultation. I think it was very, very important to participate in the market consultation. Also to find alliances for these projects, not doing the way alone. I think you have to build partnerships with other companies to complement your skills. And also to learn about formal public agreements. This will not change, and you have to deal with a public administration that has some requirements for formal things. So you have to learn a little bit. Looking to the other side, to EIC or EC, I would ask to keep pushing on funding. I think it was very, very helpful. Without European funding, we would not have done this. Also simplify or make more flexible or adaptable the models in the European calls for PPI, PCP. I think some projects are not really fitting the framework that we are giving, and this can be improved. And also, I think evaluation tools are also a good thing because we can present results, objective results, and measure results for our managers. And also working a sustainability model that this co-creation that Samira was mentioning should bring a return for the public system. And this coming back of the results is not really easy at this moment. Nothing else. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, actually, Javier. Round of applause here in the room. And without waiting anymore, I mean, I'm sure we have already a couple of questions to you. If you agree, we go to Roma. If Mauro is ready. Mauro, what about you? Are you the next one? So Mauro.
Yes. Here I am. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. Floor is yours, Mauro. You've got 6 minutes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mauro.
Very much for this invitation, so that I can quickly tell you what we have done in the last years. So our initiative in Italian is Appalti Innovativi. It's now a sort of innovation procurement broker, but let's go on. I'm from AGID. AGID is the Agency for Digitale Italy. Is an agency acting at the central government level and is in charge of the digital transformation of the country. But it had also a specific commitment on research and innovation procurement, and it was made with a law in the end of 2012. We started working really in 2013, 2014. And more or less, we understood that we were also doing the work of a broker. And this kind of work was committed formally in 2019 with a presidential decree that told us the goal of building a platform that is a software, set of services in order to help public administration in performing innovation procurement and in engaging the market. More recently, we put together all this experience in an ambitious program that is called Smart Italy, that is our open innovation procurement program, that is a systematic way of funding and performing innovation procurement, helping all the Italian public administration that can ask for systematic help in performing innovation procurement. What we learned in these years, doing the work of an innovation procurement broker at the beginning, without having the full awareness of what we were doing, and then systematically exploring this goal, was at the end that even if usually a broker is as a man in the middle, in our situation, in our experience, we were not really a man in the middle between two parts. But we feel like to be a sort of motor of a clock. And we have to move multiple stakeholders in a systematic way. This is a representation. We start with the solution seekers, so that is public administrations, schools, hospitals, regions, municipalities, that look for a solution to their problems. And they are also ready to be early adopters of this solution. It's the need identification area and the use case in the definition. Then we go with investors and sponsors. We look for money. In Italy, we have a piggyback of about 100 million euro in the framework of the Smarter Italy program. That is the sum of fundings coming from the Ministry of Research, Ministry of Economic Development, and Ministry of Digital Transition. So at that point, we need a contracting authority. That is someone that can really go on with the procedure, with the formal procedure. AGID is also a contracting authority of innovative solutions, but we are looking for other contracting authorities in Italy, because it's not possible to scale up without having more than one central procurement authority. At that point, we go on with the solution providers that are the market operators, research centers, universities, no-profit agencies, and during the market consultation, we had about more than 20 market consultations this year, with about 2,500 organizations that participated. About half of them were small and medium enterprises and startups. When the solution is ready, and we have the solution deployment, that is some connection with our ordinary Italian central purchasing bodies that can put the new solution on their ordinary shelf, and the innovation users can buy this solution. At the end, the policymaker can make some kind of summary of what is performed and try to launch another round of the clock. Our goal is to accelerate the clock, and it's not easy. What we can say at the end, in summary, is that innovation procurement is surely a good way, a very promising way to accelerate innovation. With three main points. One, the first is innovation procurement can help to focus real challenges coming from real users, from the public administrations, and looking for problems with a high impact on social and economic development. The second, public procurement innovation tenders can be used to select high potential small and medium enterprise and innovators. And we need probably fundings or another way to help them to develop these innovative products, not only being in the tender, but something more, something additional to that. And the third point is that innovation procurement at the end is also a way to boost the adoption of innovative solutions. That is, In step 2, we develop new solutions. But what is very relevant and very hard and not explored enough is how to boost the adoption and deployment. That is making the solution, the new solution, also a business, a real business for these innovators.
Thank you, Mauro. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much.
It shows that, as we said, the broker activity is key, actually, and we are working on developing this. Another interesting model coming from France now. I pass the floor to Thomas Cottinet, head of the Ecolab. Thomas, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. And congratulations, Javier, for your award. I'm very pleased to take part to this workshop and to share with you my experience of innovation procurement. I am head of Ecolab in the French Ministry of Ecological Transition. Firstly, I would like to explain what Ecolab is. Ecolab is the laboratory of green innovation inside the General Commission for Sustainable Development. In Ecolab, we aim at accelerating the ecological transition of France through the prism of innovation. Thus, we cover major fields of the ecological transition, from circular economy to biodiversity, going by housing, sustainable energies, risk prevention, or mobility. To reach this ambitious goal of pulling the ecological transition, thanks to innovation, Ecolab acts in two main ways. On the one hand, we drive the French green tech ecosystem for a promotion of green innovation solutions created by SMEs and startups. And on the other hand, we lead the French laboratory focus on data and artificial intelligence, which serves the green innovation. So now I will, I try to switch. It's okay?
Next slide, we see it, yes.
Okay. Okay. So one way we found to accelerate the sustainable innovative procurement is to create an ecosystem, the green tech innovation ecosystem, the French green tech innovation ecosystem. Green tech innovation, which is a certification, as an ecosystem which reunites 215 startups and SMEs in an alignment with the public policies in terms of ecological transition. We also created the National Incubators Network, composed of 27 incubators specialized in green tech. The Ecolab Green Tech Innovation Team animates these ecosystems thanks to events. The Meetup Green Tech is the largest event for the French Green Tech Innovation ecosystem. In 2021, in October, we had more than 3,200 attendees, especially 250 public actors and public purchasers, 1,100 green tech SMEs. And during this event, we implemented 2,000 business meetings, specifically between SMEs and public actors and public purchasers. Not later than this week, we also organized the first on-site meeting of the Incubators National Network in Green Tech to hear the needs and the ideas of each member. Beyond this event, we are quite proud of our Incubators National Networks. This network identified the difficulty bringing together SMEs and public purchasers. To curb that issue, we create the Tour de France, of public and private contractors, which is a bunch of events all around France to bring the actors together around success stories in public in innovation procurement and feedback and business meeting. The third step of this Tour de France is soon to take place. Okay, we can switch, please. As you yet might have understood, innovation procurement for us in the public sector is a keystone of our orientation. So let's go and focus a little more on our action to encourage innovation public procurement. First, we constituted the business to administration repertory of green tech innovation sustainable solutions. These repertories registers 130 startups and SMEs which are able to respond to public purchasers' needs. This action is quite so simple, but it has a tremendous and double impact. It creates a two-way bridge between innovation and public markets. Public contractors can use it to find a sustainable innovation solution that respond to what they seek. Meanwhile, it makes selling to public contractors easier for green tech innovation SMEs of our label Green Tech Innovation. So this is the business to administration repertory. Secondly, we are currently developing a new web app, My Green Tech Services. It will automatically bring public buyers information about regulations they might want to know, data, and public procurement opportunities. Thirdly, green tech innovation is also materialized by a physical place. It is the Green Tech Living Lab in Saint-Mandé. In this living lab dedicated to innovation procurement, some green tech innovation SMEs and startups are incubated and relate to 13 local communities, and they benefit from partnership with those local authorities and also huge organisms as Météo France or IGN for the French mapping.
Next slide.
Okay.
Il te reste 10 secondes, Thomas. Mais...
Okay.
Vas-y.
Okay.
Oui.
So, what are our main proposition for the European Innovation Council? It's to create a European repertory for sustainable innovative businesses based on your 6,000 innovative business, but also to be inspired by, for example, our national plan for sustainable purchases. This plan is a roadmap which set the step to reach the ambitious goal for France that by 2025, 100% of public procurement will have to integrate at least one environmental clause. So we propose to do the same things at European level with a connection with green tech SMEs and startups. So this is our main proposition for the European Innovation Council on this topic of innovation procurement.
You rock. Thank you, Thomas. Thanks a lot for that. Thanks for all the suggestions you made, actually also with Javier, Mauro, and we have more to come, actually. Marlene, are you around? I think we...
Yes, I am.
So the floor is yours now, Marlene.
I'm gonna see. All right.
We heard that you got big things to tell us.
I know we're possibly a bit behind schedule, but I'll try and be quite brief. I do want to say that, Thomas, you're speaking from my heart. I think no innovation should be without sustainability. So I think this is exactly the right way to go. I'm Valerie Grauer. I work for the Association for Supply Chain Management, Procurement and Logistics in Germany, We are a procurer association, and we have, amongst other things, been tasked by the German government to run the Competence Center for Innovation Procurement for the public sector. So a competence center at national level that supports public procurers that want to purchase innovation. And in this role, we have also set up, with the help of the European Commission, a network of competence centers for innovation procurement. So there's 12 countries overall that already have a competence center. We have used the last almost 4 years to set up 5 new competence centers, actually, but all of those are up and running now. So those are the countries where you can find support already. I mean, this is, as you are SMEs mostly, I'm assuming, this is often indirect support, but I'll actually... No, this is not how I change my slides. This is how I change my slides. All right. So you can find, obviously, all of these competence centers offer support for public procurers, but most of them also offer support indirectly or directly to SMEs to find those public contracts that they are looking for. So as you can see here, there's a lot of tender support that's directly sort of more legal support. There's strategic support where it's about how can we make sure that a procurement department is looking towards those more overarching goals of environmental sustainability and innovation. And then finally, institutional support. How can we make the transition from a administrative and operative procurement department towards a strategic procurement department? And if we're looking at the, let's say, middle circle there, the stakeholder cooperation and market support, this is, I think, what is interesting for the SMEs within the EIC, but also today in the audience. There are a lot of platforms. Mauro, you presented one of those platforms. It's actually listed here again in my list of challenge platforms. So there's already at national level I'm not even sure I want to say a lot, but there's a lot of great initiatives out there that connect SMEs to public procurers. I think it's just a matter of connecting them at a European level and giving them a bit more awareness and communication. And I think this is what is missing, and that would be my next slide indeed. So what further collaboration is needed at European level, especially from the European Innovation Council. So if you look at the medium-sized wheel that I made, the integration of those national initiatives, such as the platform that Mauro presented, or Thomas, what you presented, these need some sort of integration at European level, because I think there doesn't need to be necessarily a European universal platform, but there needs to be a way into finding what is happening in each of those countries. There's a capacity, this is what we have been realizing. I mean, I'm in the very fortunate position of being able to look into the minds of 12 of those competence centers across Europe. And we are not all that different. We are actually dealing with very similar problems, all of us. So capacity building is truly one of our main focuses for all of the competence center, no matter what level of how advanced you are in innovation procurement. This is something really key. And this goes for both sides, the procurers as well as the private sector. And I think the Commission has made a great progress towards this already, because there is the competency framework for public buyers already, but now the question is, how are we going to put this into practice? And finally, the biggest wheel, and this is on purpose, supply chain resilience. And I think, again, here the EIC is in a really key position, because what we are realizing as an association that works with private sector and public sector buyers, their main concern for the last year has been supply chain issues, just getting raw materials and getting logistics chains back online. And I think because the public sector is a bit further along the supply chain, they are not quite as impacted yet by this. But I think this is something that is definitely coming for the public sector procurement as well. And I think the EIC, with having that direct connection to the supply chain, to the procurers, I don't have quite the idea what this could be, but I think this should be one of your main topics as we are seeing this in the private sector, how much it impacts the procurement there at the moment. I think if we're getting ahead of this problem with the public sector procurement, we can really make sure that the crisis doesn't hit in that area as well. That was my very short introduction, and I'm happy for any questions. Thank you.
Dankeschön, Marlene. Well, quite a lot on the plate, actually. Thanks a lot, colleagues, for all these recommendations, observations. Indeed, the last one on the supply chain, we know how much it impacts the European economy. Indeed, in Germany and BME, you're on the front line on that. And as you rightly said, I mean, there are no reasons that it won't touch also the procurers rather soon. What do you think, Samira, Javier? We should perhaps open the floor to questions. We heard a lot, let's say, facilitators, policymakers, also professionals from the procurement side. But perhaps companies in the room, SMEs notably, the one we try to support as much as we can to reach public and private procurers. You might have questions, remarks. Don't hesitate, be bold. We know that it's very difficult to get access to public procurers. So I see one question here, please. A lady. Great. Please present yourself and make your remark or question. We got 6 minutes ahead of us.
Thanks very much. My name is Nicola Graham. I'm from Dublin City Council and have been working a bit on public procurement. But one of the questions I have for the panel, and thank you for all your presentations, a lot of the time when we talk about innovation, it's very technology-led. Do the models for innovative procurement work for different types of innovation that are not driven by technology?
Immediate answers here? Javier, Samira?
Go ahead.
Okay, so well, the thing is that it works fine for tech. We have done another different types of projects, not only on IT, on technology, and we have also good results with some other projects regarding the development of new medical devices, for example, or even to develop some kind of biomarkers. But I think to be fair, we are more or less 80% technology, 20% new developments of different diagnostic tools or different types of innovation. That's healthcare sector, of course. There are a lot of sectors around.
Any addition to that?
Just very quickly, if I may, it's really difficult.
Please, Marlene, go ahead.
Hi, it's really difficult to read the room from, my living room. Just a very quick support to what Javier said. Definitely, this works for all kinds of sectors. We have had great success with social innovation projects where, for example, we have supported people with disabilities in finding jobs, where we have supported specifically elderly care homes in becoming more accessible and more, how can I put this, more accessible to the outside world, which after COVID is a bit of a different story. But nevertheless, I am very, very positive that innovation procurement works for all sorts of innovation.
Great. Actually, thank you, Marlene, for that. Thanks for the question from Dublin. We got a couple of questions online, actually, from Clara Petit-Fils. Does the EIC consider synergies with other programs for Horizon Europe, also dealing with innovation procurement, such as European Innovation Ecosystem or clusters? Quite technical question, important one. Indeed, the presence here of Samira Bousseta from DG Grow is one of the signs that, indeed, we're not perfect at all, European Commission and the agencies, but we try as much as we can to collaborate. And really, it's a real pleasure to collaborate with these guys in DG Grow. So, yeah, we try to do that, Clara. If you have ideas, questions, shoot them. Another one from Ala Abudaka. Thank you, Ala. Is there an SME funding instrument developed by EIC? Is there an SME funding instrument developed by EIC? The answer is yes, absolutely. The EIC, obviously, Ala, is a funding program for SMEs, for European and associated countries SMEs. Thanks for the question. We currently have 6,000 of them in the ecosystem. Each 3 months we got 300 more. And you may know, or you know now, that we are giving them grants, but also equity, and also services. That's what we try to do, to get them in contact with procurers here in this case. I see one question in the back. Sir, please, present yourself. Shoot the question. Go ahead. We'll support you. Microphone issue. We are getting there. Yes, it's coming. Yeah.
Okay.
Voila.
I had to turn it on, I guess, over there. Actually, it's a continuation of a question by Ala, which, I mean, it seems like an obvious question that he asked, does the EIC provide funding? But I think the basis of his question is maybe a little bit of a lack of immediate clarity. And I myself, I'm an SME founder, and I've been an AI founder for 6 years. Struggling over those 6 years, and obviously part of the program is to help struggling entrepreneurs. But it is a bit not easy to navigate immediately both the site or even here at the conference, the procurement process, how to actually access some of the funding. I mean, there's good detail on the website, but the website is actually quite comprehensive in a good way, but also in a bad way in that it's not as simple to navigate. And so somebody actually, like Ala, who asked the question before me, arriving at the EIC site is saying, oh, perhaps this is just a conference or a council that reviews different things. But for me, the big thing is that I have realized that a big part of the ecosystem is actually these consultants and brokers who facilitate the applications from the SMEs with the central body, which is a fantastic thing actually with as we have this. But for me, the main question and the concluding point is, if I am an SME, like the person who asked the question before me, and although it seems like an obvious or silly question, and I'm landing on the EIC site or learning or hearing about the EIC for the first time, it is not immediately apparent that you provide funding and how you provide the funding and how somebody would simply click through without going through an external consultant or broker who is much more versed with the ecosystem and the facilitation of it.
Thanks for the question, yeah, and the remark. Yes, question taken on board. Just to mention that indeed we got, and we are happy to have so 20 million SMEs in Europe. They are the backbone of the European economy, we can say. They are the one producing innovation and creating jobs much than the others. Indeed, our little instrument, 10 billion over 7 years, having the access via the internet is not perfect, trying to improve, but for sure, on these 20 million SMEs, they won't all find their way to reach us. That's also part of our work, to hear this kind of remark, to be able to also to change the way we get to the SMEs and for them to get access to us. Well, the testimonies that we have is that we succeeded, we are a public organization, we succeeded to decrease the burden, administrative burden, to an important extent. We can always do more and better, but yeah, normally in 3 to 4 months' time, until the moment you click, you got an answer. This is already one thing, on this subsidy, on this grant that we are trying to give you. On the equity side, so you may know that we try also to invest friendly investment in SMEs. This is another piece of work. We are learning. We never did that before, never, European Commission. It's the first time we try to do so since more than a year and a half now. We are learning. We got some delays, not easy, we supported, but yeah. So, thank you for the remark. Always good to take. And
I know it maybe seemed like a simple question,
no?
but sometimes the simple ones are the most important, so thank you for that.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Any question in the room, online, or remarks, or question from the speakers we might have? Final remark from the speakers? Thomas, Mauro, Marlene, or here Javier, and we're going to close the session slowly. Any ideas that you get from this discussion exchange? Please go. Javier, yeah, you got 20 seconds each. Javier, Mauro.
Well, just wanted to congratulate my colleagues for the presentations, great ideas and great inspiration. But I wanted to highlight the point from Mauro that I think it's also important to foster the adoption of innovation, because I think our experience is running more into the co-design, co-development. There is room in innovation procurement for that. But I think also the gap we can find here is how to adopt new technology that's already developed in the market. But there is also some kind of barriers to adopt it, because as a public procurer, you need to guarantee somehow the final results. It's public money. So some net to just hold you if that does not go exactly right at the beginning. This will be helpful also for public procurers.
Safety net for public procurers, indeed. Yeah. Thank you for the remark, Javier. Mauro, then Thomas and Marlene, and we close.
What I understood from this session is that there is a bit larger, a promising space of collaboration between the Council and initiative of funding a small and medium enterprise with a word of innovation procurement. And so I hope this is the starting point of a common discussion on how to integrate and put together these two big actions. Thank you.
Grazie mille. Thomas, anything to add here? You're good.
Yeah, I will react to the last discussion on fundings. What is at stake, in my opinion, is mainly to build a connection ecosystem regarding our considerable topic. But I see the goal of innovation procurement as needing especially trust to fight the fear of risk, to build an ecosystem, and inside the ecosystem different network, to place to meet, to create connection, concrete connection between people, to manage to achieve this goal of more innovation procurement, especially in ecological transition, but not only. And thanks for this very interesting meeting.
Merci beaucoup, Thomas. Marlene.
Thank you indeed, everyone. I think for me, the main takeaway is that the move we have made with the competence centers towards also including the market side, the SMEs in our target group is desperately needed. So I think this kind of support that we are offering to public procurers needs to be offered to the private sector as well. And I think the EIC is a good step towards this, and the competence centers hopefully as well. Thank you.
Dankeschön. So we're going to close here. Samira, what do you think?
Yeah.
Thank
you very much, Javier here, Marlene, Thomas, Mauro, for your interesting remarks and also your good tips for us on how to improve what you were already doing. One message, innovators, entrepreneurs, please engage with public buyers. Here you have examples on really how to connect with them and to really help them improve public services, improve public administrations. And also I see also the need to link all these activities which are emerging in member states, and also to give you information on what is going on the ground. Voilà. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We will close here. Speakers, stay with us. We have things to tell you, Mauro, Thomas, and Marlene. And thank you very much for attending online and here in the room. Merci, la technique. Sorry for the delay. So do you hear us? We're going to try to do a selfie. Okay? So you should be here on the big On the big screen, stay. Yeah,
Okay.
Oh, I don't know.
We'll
Let's see.
see.
Yeah, we need to be on the cameras.
Okay.
So I don't know. You see us, Diego? Oh, cool.
Oh, perfect.
So I don't know how to do that. Let me see. Yes,
Perfect.
we see the three of them. Yes. You're all here. We all here.
Yeah.
We all,
yes,
we all
yes,
here, more or
yes.
less.
Yes, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
in the box.
Bye bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.